On behalf of Institution of Public Health Engineers India, IPHE, I would like to welcome you all in this program. We are going to observe the World Environment Day, which was basically on 5th June, is being celebrated today. As you all know, the program is being organized by the headquarters, where we have two expert speakers, Dr. Malavika Visas Roy, Associate Professor, Department of Geography, Women's College, Calcutta, and Dr. Chandrima Goswami, Guest Faculty, Department of Environmental Studies, Rabindra Bharat University, Kolkata. We have with us Professor Arno Majumdar, Vice President, Institution of Public Engineers India, who will introduce and discuss about the objectives of the World Environment Day 2024. And we have our President, Dr. Dinesh Chand, who is joining virtually to this program. He will preside over the program. The formal welcome address will be by Sri D.K. Dhar, Vice President, Institution of Public Engineers India. I'd like to welcome all of you, madam and sirs, to kindly join us on the dais. Thank you, sirs and madam. Now, I would like to request Sri D.K. Dhar, Vice President, IPHE India, to kindly deliver the welcome.
Good evening. Good evening. Dignitaries in the dais, my colleagues in institution, the dignitaries who are virtually present, ladies and gentlemen. It's a matter of great honor and privilege for me to give a welcome address and to say a few words to introduce an objective of the World Environment Day. May I now welcome Dr. Malavika Visas Roy, Associate Professor, Department of Geography, Women's College, Kolkata. Dr. Chandrima Goswami hasn't yet arrived. I think she is on the way. Dr. Dinesh Chand, President, IPHE, who is virtually present. Professor Onuram Majumdar, Vice President, IPHE. Mr. K. Roy, Secretary, IPHE India. Other dignitaries who are virtually present and as well as in the auditorium, my colleagues and others. The theme of the World Environment Day 2024 is land restoration, desertification and the drought resilience, with slogan, our land, our future, and we are for generation restoration. World Environmental Day was established during a deliberation from 5th to 16th of June at United Nations in 1972 to celebrate every year with effective campaigns by the United Nations General Assembly and United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. It was first time celebrated in 1973 with particular theme, Only One Earth, since 1974. Well, madam, you were slightly late, but I take the privilege to welcome Dr. Chandrima Goswami, Guest Faculty, Department of Environmental Studies, Ravindra Bharati University, Kolkata, who is now present with us. World Environmental Day is being celebrated as an unusual event every 5th of June since the year 1973 in order to raise the global awareness about the importance of the healthy and green environment in the human lives to solve the environmental issues by implementing some positive environmental actions and to make aware common public worldwide awareness that everyone is responsible for saving his environment and not only somebody, government or organizations working for it too. World Environment Day is also known as the Environment Day, Eco Day or short form WED. It has been one of the great annual events for years which is being celebrated worldwide by the people aiming to protect the unique and the life-nurturing nature on every 5th June. What's the importance of the day? There are three pertinent concerns. Socio-centric concerns represent human expectations and aspirations, the needs of human beings to live worthwhile. Technocentric concerns which revolve around the techno-economic systems represent human skills and ingenuity to deploy within an economic systems. Lastly, ecocentric concerns represent the ability of the planet to sustain us by providing material and energy sources. In general, the balancing act between all these three concerns and to deliberate on the same, the World Environment Day is celebrated. Worldwide Environment Day was started to address the huge environmental issues like wastage and losses of food, deforestation, increasing global warming, and so many. Every year, celebration is planned according to the particular theme and slogan of the year to bring effectiveness in a common campaign all around the world. It is celebrated to make aware the common public about the environmental issues, encourage common people from different society and communities to actively participate in the celebration, let them know that community people are very essential to inhibit negative changes towards the environmental issues. The only way forward, if we are going to improve the quality of environment, is to get everybody involved. So the advent of the World Environmental Day every year. It is the last part of my deliberation which I am saying, that the birds and children are the indicators of the environment. If they are in trouble and not feel good moment, we can foresee that we too will be in trouble and unhappy situations. I welcome you again, and I will not continue further because there are other guests also who will be speaking on the objectives and everything. So with this, I end here and welcome you again.
Thank you, sir, for your kind deliberation. Now, I would like to request Professor Ono Majumdar, Vice President, IPHE India, to kindly speak on the objectives of this year's World Environment Day. Thank you.
Respected President of Institution of Public Health Engineers, Dr. Dinesh Chand, who is present virtually in this particular program, Sri D.K. Dhar, Vice President, IPHE, speakers of this particular day program, Dr. Malavika Viswasraya and Dr. Chandrima Goswami, Secretary General IPHE present here, all corporate members of IPHE present here, and friends. Today, Institution of Public Health Engineers India is celebrating the World Environment Day 2024. This year the theme is land restoration, desertification and drought resilience. You all know that today we are facing crisis with respect to our environment. The major crisis that this world is experiencing is the crisis of climate change. This climate change, because of the fact that the carbon emission is so high, in the sense that it is affecting our environment. The greenhouse gas emission, continuously coming emission of methane, etc., is causing temperature rise, in the sense that the climate is changing and the rainfall pattern of this world is also changing. When you look into this particular issue, we find this climate change is causing, causing temperature rise. We are experiencing this temperature rise even in this city of Calcutta, and we have experienced this year 42.5 degrees centigrade. In many parts of West Bengal, the temperature rose to even 46 degrees centigrade. This year, Delhi experienced 52.5 degrees centigrade. IPCC in their report predicted that if this situation is getting continued, then the temperature of Calcutta would be 50 degrees centigrade in near future. Our billions of hectares of land are degraded, affecting almost half of world's population and threatening half of global GDP. The other crisis that we are facing is with respect to our nature and biodiversity. Huge number of species have already been extended. It is not in the atmosphere, in the earth, in the nature. The biodiversity loss with respect to land, water body, etc., is in extremely high condition, situation, that it is affecting our environment. We have also a problem with respect to pollution and waste generated from different activities. The pollution with respect to air, water, soil is in alarming situation. In the face of severe and prolonged droughts, sandstorm and rising temperature, it is crucial to find ways to stop dry land from becoming desert, fresh water sources from evaporating, and fertile soil from turning to dust. Today in India, we find almost 29.7% land has been degraded. Our land area of this country is roughly 330 million hectares. Around 98 million hectares of land has been degraded, and most lands have been already desertified. We are experiencing drought in many parts of our country. If we see the data available to us, it is an increasing trend. In 2003-2005, the land degradation was in the tune of 28.76%, of total geographical area of this country. In 2011-13, this increased to 29.32% of total geographical area of the country. This has been found to be further increased to 97.85%, 97.85 million hectares, that is 29.7% during 2018 and 19. When you talk about the desertification, it is basically the land degradation in the arid and sub-arid region of our country. If we look into the causes of this particular problem, that is desertification or land degradation, it is due to rainfall and runoff. This is also causing because of the erosion of the soil. Then water erosion is another cause for this land degradation. We find wind erosion is another problem. In addition to that, vegetation degradation, salinity and water logging are the problems related to land degradation. Man-made problems also we are having with respect to the land degradation. The issue is this, that the soil fertility is getting lost. Most of the areas of our country, we find we are using chemical fertilizer, say for example, urea, diammonium phosphate, etc. This is not improving the soil condition. The topsoil we are losing day by day, and ultimately it is becoming non-fertile. So it is becoming degraded. So therefore we are recommending for use of organic manure. The government of India has taken a massive program in this country to replace chemical fertilizer with organic manure. There are several ways by which we have to restore our degraded land. Action plan have been initiated by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and other concerned departments in this country, which includes sustainable agriculture. So therefore, if we can motivate the people who are doing agriculture in this country, and we know that most of our population, major of our population is dependent on the agriculture. And since again climate change is having adverse impact on the agricultural system because of the fact that our water resources also getting depleted. We have limited water in this country because of the fact that rainfall is also limited. 4,000 billion cubic meter rainfall we are experiencing in this country. Out of this total rainfall, 28% of this rain is getting stored as groundwater resource as well as surface water resource. Actually, 11% of our rainfall is getting stored here in the groundwater aquifer, groundwater, and another 17% is having stored as surface water. But since our population is 16.7% of the world population, our area is only 2.4% of the earth area, whereas the freshwater availability is only 4%, we are experiencing the water crisis in this country. Major areas of our country is facing water stress condition. We are facing acute water condition, acute water stress condition, acute condition with respect to resources of water. The rainfall is also varying in this country from 200 millimeter per year to 11,000 millimeter per year. As a result, many parts of our states, especially Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, Ladakh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh and Telangana are facing this land degradation. 23.79% of our total geographical area situated in those states that I mentioned are suffering from land degradation. Actually, 28 states out of 31 states, 31 states and union territories of our country are suffering with land degradation. So what we emphasize here that we have to restore our land. And when you look into the sustainable development goal, where this particular issue of land restoration has been mentioned in 15.3 para, therefore, every country is committed to restore the land. India is also committed to restore our land. And according to the statement made by Honorable Prime Minister of our country, that we are committed to restore 26 million hectares of our land. I mentioned that around 97 or 98 million hectares of our land has already been degraded. Out of that, 26 million hectares of land will be restored by 2030. This is the commitment of Government of India, and Honorable Prime Minister committed that in United Nations conference. We hope so that we'll be able to restore our land gradually with concerted effort of all stakeholders, including everybody of us. We consider that this is our commitment of restoration land that will be fulfilled. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for your very elaborate elaboration on the World Environment Day 2024 theme and our way forward. Now I would like to request our Secretary General, Sri S.K. Mukherjee, to kindly receive our expert speaker, Dr. Malavika Vishwas Roy, with a bouquet of flowers. Ashwati, please help us. Okay, so Ashwati will move over the flower bouquet. Thank you. So also request to kindly receive our other guest, Dr. Chandrima Goswami, with a bouquet of flowers. Thank you. Now, first I would like to request our expert speaker, Dr. Malavika Vishwas Roy, who is Associate Professor, Department of Geography, Women's College, Calcutta, to kindly present a paper and also speak before the August gathering.
Good evening all. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer who has invited me and given to this platform for delivering the lecture. Last but not the least, special thanks to Professor Arunabha Majumdar sir for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge here. Respected all dignitaries and dear students. Since the occasion is being organized based on World Wet Environment Day under the theme Land Restoration, Desertification and Drought Resiliences, we should keep in our mind on 5th June 1972, the UN Ground Assembly designed 5th June as a World Environment Day under the slogan Only One Earth. Environment is a vast area. It's covered lithosphere to atmosphere to hydrosphere, other human intervention. This year, main focus was on land restoration, desertification and drought resiliences under the slogan Our Land, Our Future. If you look into the land utilization and land use pattern in India, we can observe the maximum area in the percentage have been observed mainly from cropland. Here we show the wide distribution of land. The major division water area, it's majority water area, it's 70.8% and land area 29.2%. The image shows 4 world map illustrating different types of land use changes. Each map highlights where specific changes are happening and use colors to show how much change has occurred. In map A, which shows agriculture to forest conversion, the map shows where farmland is being turned into forest. The area with the most change are shown in darker color. It appears that there is some conversion of happening in parts of North America, Europe and Asia. The map B showed agriculture to settlement conversion. This map shows where farmland is being converted into settlement. Changes are noticeable in parts of North America, Europe and Asia, particularly in densely populated regions. If you look into the land utilization and land use pattern in India, we can observe the maximum area in percentage have been observed mainly for cropland. From 1989 to 2020, while major changes have been found in case of water body, rural settlement decreasing at higher rate, on the other hand, urban settlement is increasing. Now the land degradation in India, losing land, almost 30% of Indian land area is under the desertification. Land degradation situation, alarming situation for food security, human health and socio-economic development. 120.7 million hectares of land affected by land degradation, out of which 85.7 million hectare land affected by soil erosion. Deforestation 2.07 million hectare and intensive rainfall, uncontrolled grazing, indiscriminate use of fertilizer and shifting cultivation are other more factors that further aggravate the process of land degradation. As we know, soil is the loose surface material that covers most land. It consists of organic particles and organic matters. Generally, 3 aspects of soils are erosion, transportation and deposition. Soil plays different role in different slope conditions. In case of simple uniform slope, loose soil always deposited in bottom area. In case of complex slope, loose soil deposited into two area, intermediate area and bottom area. This is the land degradation of India, degraded by land by different erosional agent like water erosion. It is 82.57 million hectare and wind erosion 12.40 million hectare. Salt affected soil 6.74 million hectare, acid soil 17.94 million hectare. Total degradable in India 120.72 million hectare area. This picture showing relationship between soil surface and groundwater recharge. Here the main components are surface runoff, transpiration, interception, groundwater recharge, soil evaporation and infiltration. In case of poor infiltration, high runoff causing high soil loss, greater infiltration, less runoff causing moderate soil loss, and poor infiltration, high evapotranspiration causing poor soil loss. Now, soil and land degradation condition in regional and local perspective. In case of West Bengal, there is 2.14 million hectare of land covering about 25 of total geographical area of the state. Major cause of soil degradation here is water erosion, which affect 14% of the total state area. Now, environment vulnerability, these are the causes and these are the effects. Causes are combination of sizes of soil particles, ground slope, intra-storm, variation in rainfall intensity, rapid soil thawing, and the effects are physical deterioration of soil quality, chemical deterioration, poor soil sanitation extent capacity, reduction in soil fertility, etc. The soil degradation having so many drivers that are population growth, urban expansion, diet change, industrialization, unsustainable agricultural practice, waste deposition, deforestation and climate change. And the threats are soil organic carbon loss, biodiversity loss, salinization and solidification, compaction of stealing, nutrient imbalance, and the main impact are ecosystem and landscape deterioration, food insecurity both quality-wise and quantity-wise, climate change, violence, social inequality, poverty, and its cause migration also. Now, different case study of land degradation. This slide is showing degraded land of West Bengal. The main type of land degradation is real gully erosion, waterlogged condition, salinity, mining, landslide, sea coastal zone, stream bank erosion, etc. Now the case study. The location is Garbeta Block 1, West Mednipur. Here two images are taken, one from 2003, another image 2017. If you look into the satellite image, we can easily, it shows that the vegetation cover converted to bare soil area. Reduction in forest cover and increase in bare soil condition resulting in the decrease of soil moisture condition and ability of surface soil to recharge the underground aquifer. The second condition, location Hirabad block, Bakura. The image, satellite image taken from the year of 2003 and 2017. The area coverage of the water body in 2003 was 10 hectare, while we are, it shows that 2017, the area of the water body becomes 7 hectares, and almost the vegetable land become bare soil area. Reduction of water body and destruction of vegetation cover will lead to high surface runoff and poor groundwater recharge. This is another case study. Location Ghatal block, West Mednipur. Image taken from 2006 and 2017. The settlement increase shown here. Human encroachment and increase in the build-up area decrease the groundwater recharge and hampers the ecological flow in open channel. The increase in the bare land leads to reel and gully formation, which encourage high runoff, sedimentation of the river beds and poor recharge. Here the sedimentation of the river bank is shown in the picture, and also gully erosion. Some other pictures, problem related to soil erosion. The fallow agriculture field in Bakura and reel developing in Gongani, West Midnapur, and the soil profile of Bishnupur area, and water level, measurement of water level near Garbeta, Medipur. Now the case study analysis of land use land cover of Moyurakhi river basin. Here we take the satellite image of 1989, 2000, 2010, 2018 and 2021. The most of the land was agricultural fallow land with 1736.8 square kilometer, which was 29.79% of the total area. However, in the following years, there was not noticeable change. The amount of percentage of agricultural fallow land decreased significantly, but the agricultural land increasing significantly in 2021. This change due to the expansion of human settlement and the increased needs the agricultural production, which led to more land being used for farming. Overall, 1989 to 2021, the main trend observed is the significant increase in agricultural land over the years, accompanied by the decrease in agricultural fallow land, dense forest area. The trend reflects the growing needs for agricultural land due to expanding human settlement and increased agricultural production. And this is the land use land cover map as a whole, the change type map of 32 years land use land cover analysis. The green color shows positive change, the red color shows negative change, and the grey color shows no changes. Based on and sustainable land use and maintaining the basin health status, the negative change means, for example, conversion of agricultural land to wasteland, and positive change indicates the conversion of waste or fallow land into dense forest or cropland, and no change indicates the unaltered land, the land covered classes with a time span of 32 years over the study area. Now, in case of water body, we know water body wetland is a very important natural resource, and it's play vital role. It's provide food and water source for a different sector, but the wetland is declining in an alarming rate. In case of West Bengal, the important water bodies and wetland, we know the value of wetland because it's act as a biodiversity hubs. Water bodies and wetland in West Bengal provides critical habitats for diverse array of flora and fauna in including many endangered migratory species. Livelihood support means millions of people in the region depends on water bodies for their livelihood like fishing, agriculture, floriculture, etc. Groundwater recharge, it plays an important role. Wetland plays an important role for recharging groundwater and controlling flood. This is the different benefit of wetland. Now, historical trend in Kolkata's wetland and water bodies. If you look into 1950s, Kolkata was home to a vast network of wetlands and water bodies covering nearly 12,500 hectares. In 1980s, rapid urbanization and development led to the loss of over 30% of cities' wetland and water bodies. Present day, only about 5,000 hectares of wetlands and water bodies remain. A testament of the alarming rate of the decline. The different factors contributing water bodies decline. Rapid urbanization, one of the most important. The expansion of cities and towns has led to encroachment and filling of many natural water bodies. Climate change, another factor. Drought and erratic rainfall pattern and rising temperature having exacerbated the water crisis, leading the drying up many water bodies. Agriculture demand, increasing water uses for irrigation and unsustainable farming practice have contributed depletion of water resources. Lack of conservation effort, inadequate policies, limited enforcement and lack of public awareness have hindered the protection and restoration of India's water bodies. Now the environmental impact declining water bodies of wetland. If there is no wetlands, then obviously the flooding increase, the loss of natural storage, water storage mechanism has led to more frequent and several flooding events in Kolkata. Habitat destruction, the disappearing of wetland has devastated the local flora fauna, disrupting the decline ecological balance. Urban heat island effect. The reduction of water bodies has contributed to the urban heat island effect, excavating the city's temperature and humidity levels. Now, the economic impact for declining the water bodies and wetlands. Loss of livelihood, obviously many local communities depend on fishing, agriculture and other water-based activity for their livelihood, which are now threatened. Reduced tourism is one of the main factor. Increased cost, the loss of natural flood control mechanism has led to higher cost for infrastructure maintenance to the disaster management. Now the social impact, declined water bodies and wetland. Public health. The deterioration of water quality has increased the risks of waterborne diseases, posing a threat to public health. Recreation, the loss of water bodies and wetlands deprived local of recreational spaces, impacting their quality of life. Cultural significance, many of these water bodies hold deep cultural and religious significance for the local communities, which is now being lost. This two image shows, one is from 2009 and another in 2024, the ward number 109 ward in Kolkata. Suppose there was a wetland area that was 100 square kilometer in size in 1950. Now the present same wetland is 60 square kilometer only. Now the conservation efforts, wetland restoration, government and NGO initiative to rehabilitate and revive the degraded wetlands across the state, community participation, people participation needed, policy reform needed. Now the prevention and control measure for land degradation. Strip farming, in which cultivated crops are sown in alternative strips to prevent water movement. Crop rotation is one of the agriculture practice in which different crops are grown in the same area following the rotation system, which help in replacement of the soil. Construction of dam to check or reduce the velocity of runoff so that soil support vegetation. Rainwater harvesting, sustainable urbanization, use of non-conventional energy, government intention, political will, and lastly, public awareness is very much needed. Now, initiative combat degradation and promote afforestation. Government initiative to boost forest cover. National Forest Policy, NFP, 1988. National Mission for Green India, GIM. Forest Fire Protection Management Scheme. Compensatory Afforestation Fund, National Coastal Mission Program. Government initiative to boost forest cover, afforestation achievement, 20-point program reporting. Over the period from 2011, 2012 to 2021-22, approximately 18.94 million hectares of land have been covered through afforestation efforts. Measures to combat land degradation, desertification and land degradation atlas, published by the Space Application Center, SAC, Indian Space Research Organization. Center of Excellence, ICFRE, the establishment of Center of Excellence at the Indian Council for Forest Research and Education in Dehradun. Measure to combat land degradation, Bond Challenge Pledge. India committed to restoring 26 million hectares of degraded and deforested land by 2030 as a part of voluntary Bond Challenge. UNFCCC COP and UNCCD COP14. India participation in the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change Conference of the Parties and the United Nations Convention to combat desertification demonstrate the country's commitment to global efforts in land restoration and combating desertification. And lastly, the line is very important. This is, the soil is the great incarnator of lives, the source and destination of all. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Very nice presentation we had. I will take the question answer session after the second presentation is over. So now I would like to request Dr. Chandrima Goswami, guest faculty, Department of Environmental Studies, Ravindra Bharat University, Kolkata, to kindly present before the audience.
Very good evening to you all. Myself, Dr. Chandrima Goswami from Department of Environmental Studies, Rabindra Bharati University. I'm so very grateful to my respectable Sir Professor Arunabha Mojumdar for having this belief and inviting me over here. And at the same time, I'm so very grateful to the organization IPHE for invitation. Thank you. So to start with the presentation, it's basically something I have prepared in very general, like what is the current situation and what we are going through and what ways we can have a control over the issue. So we know we have assembled here for the celebration of the World Environment Day, which includes the theme of land restoration, desertification and drought resilience this year. And so we know land is a very important resource. It is basically it includes a variety of ecosystems which does include a provision for different help so that mankind can utilize the resources in terms of food, in terms of water, and a number of natural resources available. Say, for example, if we talk about the ecosystems I have mentioned here, see the forests are there, the grassland, the wetlands, again the mountain, all having a diverse kind of biota, the flora, the fauna, with certain significant role played by every part. And needless to mention, the aquatic ecosystems are equally important again because they complement each other, because again the terrestrial ecosystem, the aquatic ecosystems, all are part of this universe where they are so very related as far as the biogeochemical cycles do happen. And there are again the importances of the conversion of energy, the conversion of matter, the hydrological cycle that are again so very important regarding the transfer of energy and transmission of the resources. So the current scenario is such that we know the land is so very degraded and desertification has increased manifold, very much significantly in recent years, and more than 2 billion hectares of the world's land is degraded, with 40% of the world's population being impacted by the current situation. And United Nations Environment Program mentions that if this situation does continue, there will be a food price rise by 30%. So already approximately 32% of India is under degradation, and mostly it is the agricultural land and the forest because of huge land use changes that have gone through, and that has again encouraged the occurrence of desertification, that is again 25%. India, with 2.4% of the global land area, is again home to 18% of global population, human population, and 30% livestock population it is supporting. So this much of area supporting a huge population as compared to the geographic area is very difficult. So here I have mentioned about the assessment of degraded lands in India. Sir was mentioning in his speech earlier that out of the approximate 330 million hectare of total geographic area in India, some 120.4 million hectare is degraded, and the area under agriculture is near about 180 million hectare. And as per National Bureau of Soil Survey and Land Use Planning, estimated projected area of 147 million hectare of land degradation we find in 2004. Here are some state-wise various conditions, kind of land degradation in different states, which mentions, as per the 11 states I have mentioned here, Himachal Pradesh shows 75% degraded area as compared to the total geographic area, followed by, you can see Kerala with 67.1%, followed by Nagaland 60%. So, followed by land degradation, if it continues for year after year, may lead to further drying, and in arid and semi-arid regions, if the situation goes worse, it may turn into desertification, which is the process by which we understand that the biological productivity of the land gets deteriorated, where we find the flora and fauna of the area is getting lost day by day, and we also understand more the flora and fauna diversity, more the ecosystems are healthier, because starting from the microorganisms up to the higher group of mammals, all have some individual role regarding the maintenance and healthy ecosystem. So if we are losing the diversity of biota, definitely it will hamper our lifestyle only because of ecosystem damage. And these are some of the ways in which land can degrade. We can understand that the land has degraded so far, like the erosion, breaking down of rock and soil parts. There is loss of soil fertility, the usual natural fertility due to the presence of organic matter, some other nutrients. There is soil salinization, there can be soil acidification from acid mine drainage, loss of vegetation cover, compaction and hardening of soil. There can be wildfire occurrence, which has increased manifold again, and the decline of water table because of too much of exploitation. So the reason behind the degradation, if we try to find out earlier, we found that the natural disasters have been so very impactful regarding the different ecosystem changes. But these days, the anthropogenic or the man-made changes are more disastrous as compared to the natural disaster occurrence. And together, they are the reason behind the unsustainable condition that creates the occurrence of economy loss, loss of different ecosystem services, that is environmental degradation again, and the social crisis is also taking shape. So here some of the causes of land degradation, natural causes we all know, these are the disasters again, but these days the disaster management preparedness is much more better as compared to the anthropogenic interference with the environment, we believe, we understand as well. Some of the points are here like deforestation, mining, unsustainable agriculture, change of land use, overgrazing, climate change, and there are others also. So deforestation, we understand there is too much of cutting of the trees for the benefit of human civilization for some other purpose, which we feel that is more urgent and important. And for that, with heavy machinery, trees are being cut, vegetations are being burnt, and plowing is done, leading to large-scale damage not only to the carbon sink, that is the soil gets eroded, the forests get wiped out, and therefore these cause synergistic effect of reduced evapotranspiration that triggers the occurrence of desertification again, biodiversity loss, melting of the ice caps, and further leading to food insecurity. The forests are getting depleted. I found this research work of India Today group, as the source is from the Lok Sabha discussions, that over 3 lakh hectares of forest land have been diverted across the states in the last 15 years, where Punjab tops the list with 20% of the share. And the bulk of mining and road construction is also here, with 19.1% mining and 14.8% of road construction again involved for the removal of the forests. And if we talk about unsustainable practice of irrigation, ours is a tropical country where agriculture is the main occupation, as it is being supported by the climatic condition definitely. But if we go for, thank you so much, unsustainable practice, that is again a disaster in itself. Please excuse me. As it requires a large amount of fresh water that can cause significant environmental pressure again in the area where it is water stressed. It is again a crucial driver of climate change, which is responsible for around 1/4 of the greenhouse gas emission. About 26% of greenhouse gas emission is caused from agriculture, and also having impact, a large scale impact because of its wider area coverage. So current food systems are much and hugely unsustainable practices as going on, and half of the world's habitable land is used for agriculture, with 70% withdrawal of fresh water for agriculture. If we talk about overgrazing, why is it worse as related to environmental land degradation again? It degrades the soil together with the cattle trampling about and reduces resilience to drought, increases risk of erosion, also impacting the hydrologic response of soil with the erosion. And it mostly affects the South American countries, but in our country as well, some of the states are widely being under stress. Say, for example, there is Gujarat, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, parts of Maharashtra as well. And we are in a era where we are standing with much of climate emergency as well. The dust storms, the erosion again, the drought condition in different districts. Here is a picture from the Shalboni village in Bankura way back in 2016. And currently the Uttarakhand area, the Kumaon, is repeatedly going under wildfire cover. So, and the records say that from last November, it is about 606 number of forest fires have been there. So what we need to know about the climate emergency, we already know actually that it is very much real, very much created by human influence because of too much of urgency, the feeling of urgency, what we need, and there is over-exploitation of the resources together with burning of huge amount of fossil fuels. And the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is also linked so very much to the average global temperature, which is going on increasing, which we need to control for the further sustainable days if we want. So some of the effects of land degradation here does say the loss of soil productivity, there is increased drought and water stress, loss of biodiversity, increase in greenhouse gases, desertification leading to poverty, migration of people, and socio-economic effect, also food insecurity. Some of the social changes and economic impact of climate change. As the resources are getting depleted, the resources will be unavailable, there will be rise of price for certain resources that will again create conflict among the masses, that will create people, encourage people to migrate and leave the places, and all these are so very related. So we find that with the degradation of land, the carbon sink, as we know, forest is a carbon sink, the oceans are, so the soil carbon and the nitrous oxides are released into the atmosphere, making land degradation one of the most important contributor of climate change, and is both the cause and consequence of climate change. It is creating, as well as with the worsening of the situation in the environment, there is again exaggeration of the situations, and the diverse kind of adversities are getting multiplied. We are already facing in terms of heat stress, heat wave, and too much of changes in the environmental conditions. From the ourworldindata.org, they do research on these issues. The greenhouse gas emission per kg of the food product does mention again that more we opt for vegetarian food and local food, the cereals, the pulses, the requirement of the greenhouse gas emission is much less as compared to the meat and different non-veg dishes owing to the livestock production and maintenance. And desertification, I would not repeat. We have already discussed, it's the extreme form of land degradation that again deteriorates the quality of soil and damages the vegetation, leading to imbalance in the ecological setup where we all belong. So, leading to migration of people. Here are some of the case studies from Sundarban and Gujarat. In Sundarban, the Ghoramara Island. See the total geographic area, how much it has reduced from since 1990 to 2015 as per this paper by Haldar et al. The change in land use gradually caused shoreline shifting, and that caused the island to lose 39% of its land area with 90% of the people's migration. So again for Gujarat, in the Saurashtra area, in the 3 districts of Surendranagar, Amreli and Jamnagar, we find with the survey of about 1,000 people that how much the land degradation and the resource loss owing to leading to the increase in price of certain things is forcing people to migrate from the places. And next we come to the theme today that as we discussed the theme this year, it's to find out a solution to restore the land, to halt the desertification, to build drought resilience with the help of ecosystem restoration. As we cannot turn back to time, but what we can do is plant more trees, invite more greenery, take care of them, revive the water sources, bring back the soil, and we can become the generation that can make peace with land. So, to fix the global food systems and protect the landscapes, we can make agriculture sustainable with the help of government, who can promote regenerative agriculture, redirect some of the subsidies in some of the cases towards sustainable practices, ensure more equal access to land, water and resources for all, especially for the small holders, and invest in research and development for the indigenous group of people. Followed by saving the soil is essential, as we know that 60% of all species do inhabit in soil itself, and 95% of food we eat does come out from it with the help of growth media. So it is also working as a carbon sink, and therefore organic farming, sustainable agriculture, as we listen to Sir as well, then use of the processes of drip irrigation to conserve water as much as possible. Mulching processes are equally important to save the soil. To protect the pollinators, who are again very much essential for the crops which are producing fruits and seeds basically, for their pollination, for the dispersal, it is important. And for that again we need to have a control over the air pollution, minimize the use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers, conserve our ecosystems as much as possible with encouraging to enhance the greenery and grow some native flowers as they attract the pollinators. Restore freshwater ecosystems. This we have discussed. Renew coastal and marine areas with more focus on certain strict regulations so that the stakeholders also do believe that there will be much benefit if they have a control over the issues and they can act accordingly. Bring nature back to the cities with more encouragement for urban forestry. There can be the encouragement for rainwater harvesting for conservation of water, as the urban areas are much more concretized by the name of beautification, but this very beautification is so very artificial as far as our living is concerned. So by 2050, 2 in 3 people will be living in the urban centers, so that the cities are already consuming 75% of the planet's resources. So this should not be encouraged. Each and every person should take responsibility for the betterment of the condition. Generate financing for restoration, invest in nature-based solutions. Government could invest in early warning systems to prevent the worst impacts and fund land restoration activities with encouraging better waste management practices, which is also sometimes at mess. We understand that the sewage water treatments, the industrial wastewater treatments are not up to the mark always, and sometimes the partial treatments are being done and waste as released. Also from the agricultural runoff, also from the domestic sewage being released by the corporations and municipalities, all are together creating a disaster in itself. So we understand again restoration is the key to prosperity and well-being of people, and for that we need to take care of the ecosystem once again. Without restoring them, it will be of no help. And if it is being restored, that is, we see that 15% of the ecosystem restoration can give us a cut extinction by 60% of biodiversity by improving the habitat system for them. And UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, it has been from 2021 till 2030, which is again a rallying call, we know. It's a global push to revive the damaged ecosystems, the grasslands, the wetlands, the different terrestrial ecosystems, to prevent, halt and reverse back to the earlier conditions or better conditions. These are the kind of ecosystems, and each can be restored by reducing pressure on them so that we can get back to the usual condition of carbon sequestration, the nutrient cycling, the water filtration, which is so very natural, and the protecting of the biodiversity. All those ecosystem services we have been discussing so far. And the restoration flagship series of pioneering initiatives does include here, which demonstrates how restoration delivers a wide range of environmental benefits that will help in increasing productivity again, carbon sequestration and biodiversity preservation. And in 2022, Namami Gange program ranked top 10 world restoration flagship, as was initiated by UN and started by Indian government to restore the sacred connection to Ganges while tackling the pollution. 1500 kilometers of river was rejuvenated with 30,000 hectares of restoration of forest cover. And the coordination by the National Mission for Clean Ganga was also done, supported by international cooperation agencies of Japan and Germany, with World Bank as well. So the UN identifies 7 World Restoration Flagships further this February 2024, restoring the Mediterranean Forest Initiative, the Indus Initiative approved by Pakistan, and then the Andes Forest restoration of 1 million hectare, Sri Lanka Mangrove Regenerative Initiative, 10,000 hectare of mangrove by 2030. Then the Terai Arc Landscape Initiative in Nepal, followed by regreening of Africa's agricultural area and growing forests in Africa's dryland initiative, considering the areas like Mali, Senegal, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. And what we will gain from this, definitely mitigation of climate emergency situation, adaptation to the climatic adverse situations, economy will be taken care, food security will be taken care, water supply will definitely be restored, health issues will become better, and biodiversity loss can be managed. These are some of the measures taken by India to curb desertification, integrated watershed management, like under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchay Yojana, implemented by Niti Aayog. It aims to restore the ecological balance by conservation of the resource, the land resource. And Desert Development Program launched in 1995 for Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh area, where the adverse effect of drought is much more intense. United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, UNCCD, ratified in 1996 to restore 26 million hectares of land by 2030. National Afforestation Program implemented since 2000 for afforestation of the forests. National Action Program to Combat Desertification, prepared in 2001 to address the issues of increasing desertification, and the National Mission on Green India, approved in 2014 to protect, restore and enhance the diminishing forest covers with a deadline of 10 years. Some of the local initiatives. This actually I mentioned because the conventions will be there, the discussions will be there, but at the localized level, people must be made more aware and encouraged to participate and take part in these kind of work so that they become responsible, and by seeing them, others too become responsible and take the responsibility on their own shoulders regarding taking care of their habitat. This is a group working for the weekly river cleanup drive since 171 weeks under the campaign Insan Teri Ganga Maili, and it has been recognized by UN India as well. So it's a team from Titagore. Again, it's a tree plantation drive from Noihati, where every year they do plant 50 and more saplings, and only plantation will not do, we all understand. So taking care of the saplings throughout the time till it becomes an adult tree. So this is what they are doing. And some other activities we should be aware of, like making smart choices, raising our voice against the different issues we do not like. We understand these are creating the problems, but sometimes we are silent. So we must act today, grow the forest, green our cities, eat soil-friendly foods and local foods, make peace with land. These are some of the references, and thank you so much for your patient hearing. Thank you.
So it was a wonderful presentation by Dr. Goswami. Now I would like to call both the speakers on the dais, and the house is open for discussion. So I'd like to invite your suggestions or questions or sharing your experience from the audience, those who are physically present, and also the people, those who have joined us virtually. I would also like to invite them also to join the open house discussion, please. Thank you. So I believe there are some students joining from your institution as well. So would you like to have any queries if you like to get clarified from your ma'ams, or other audience present here also may kindly ask if you want to ask something to further clarification. We have one audience from virtual mode. So, Mr. Varun Bosak, you want to say something or present a few words? So, Mr. Bosak, if you kindly. Mr. Bosak, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening to all those who are participating, the organizers and dignitaries. It is my short understanding in a very small, short presentation, which I would like to share with you. It starts with the map of the study is the background, then the land degradation and its restoration strategy, desertification process and reversing prospects, the drought resilience and the intervention steps possible. The background of this can be related to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which I have underlined. SDG 1, 2, 6, 12, 13, 15. They are mentioned in the process of addressing the issue. The history goes back, when 2021 to 2030 have been declared as the UN Decade for Ecosystem Restoration, and also 2024 is the 30th year celebration of United Nations combating the desertification process. Now, I start with land degradation. The definition of degradation means the loss of arid and semi-arid and dry subhumid areas of biological or economic productivity and complexity, and the result being from soil erosion caused by wind or water or deterioration of physical, chemical or biological economic properties of soil, and long-term loss of natural vegetation that was declared by UNCCD in 1993.
Thank you, Mr. Bosak. Do you have any specific question to the speakers? You can ask.
I propose that I would share my understanding and experience of the subject.
Only questions, please, now, because we are running short of time. Only you can ask questions if you have.
Not now, not now.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, anyone else from the audience like to ask any question, please?
But I want to know how wetlands it affects the microclimate, মানে যেটা বললেন না যে wetlands water bodies সেটা আমাদের মানে প্রিজার্ভেশনটা খুব দরকার because it affects the climate, সেটা কিভাবে মাইক্রোক্লাইমেটটাকে ইনফ্লুয়েন্স করে এটা একটু জানার ইচ্ছা।
অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমাদের মাইক্রোক্লাইমেটের ক্ষেত্রে ওয়েটল্যান্ডের যেটা বলছিলে তুমি, তো এটা একটা আমরা কাজ করেছি, সেটা হচ্ছে এলএসটি ল্যান্ড সারফেস টেম্পারেচার চেঞ্জের ওপর আমাদের একটা পেপার রয়েছে। আমরা রবীন্দ্র সরোবরের ওপরে কাজ করেছি। এখানে আমরা এটা লক্ষ্য করেছি যে যত মানে ওয়েটল্যান্ডটা থেকে দূরে যাওয়া যাচ্ছে টেম্পারেচারটা বেশি হচ্ছে, এবং যত ওয়েটল্যান্ডের কাছে আসছে তত কিন্তু টেম্পারেচারটা আস্তে আস্তে খানিকটা হলেও কমে যাচ্ছে। তো আমরা যদি এরকম অল ওভার দ্য ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলে বা আমাদের যদি আমরা আরবান এরিয়া মানে আমরা ক্যাপিটালের কথাই বলি, কলকাতাতেই আমি যেটা আমার প্রেজেন্টেশনে দেখালাম যে প্রচুর পরিমাণে ওয়েটল্যান্ড আগে ছিল, যেটা এরিয়া ওয়াইজ ধীরে ধীরে কমে যাচ্ছে, এবং কমে যাচ্ছে এই কারণে কি প্রচুর আরবানাইজেশন হচ্ছে এবং ল্যান্ড ফিলিং হয়ে সেখানে আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি বিভিন্ন ধরনের রেসিডেন্সিয়াল এরিয়া, প্লট বা অন্য কোনো কিছু হয়ে যাচ্ছে। তার ফলে এটার ক্ষেত্রে কি হচ্ছে যে ওই যে কুলিং এফেক্টটা সেটা ধীরে 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 কমে যাচ্ছে। ফলে আমাদের মানে ইকোসিস্টেমের ক্ষেত্রে যেটা ওয়াটার এরিয়া, সেটাকে যদি আমরা আনচেঞ্জ রেখে করি তাহলে আমাদের এই কুলিং এফেক্টটা বা মাইক্রোক্লাইমেটিক এফেক্টটা কিছুটা হলেও কিন্তু বজায় থাকবে, যদি আমরা ওয়েটল্যান্ডগুলোকে না ফিল আপ করে বা অন্য কাজে ব্যবহার না করি। এবং তার একটা যেহেতু একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট রোল অবশ্যই রয়েছে, নট অনলি ইকোলজিক্যাল বাট অলসো ইকোনমিক্যাল, কারণ কিছু মানুষ তো ডিপেন্ড করে ওয়েটল্যান্ডের উপর এখনো। যদি আমরা শুধুমাত্র কলকাতার দিকে না দেখি, আমরা যেমন গ্রামের ওয়েটল্যান্ডগুলো যেমন নদিয়া, তারপরে মুর্শিদাবাদে যে প্রচুর আমরা ফ্ল্যাটপ্লেন ওয়েটল্যান্ড রয়েছে, সেগুলো কিন্তু খুব খুব বেশি মাত্রায় সেখানকার লোকাল পিপলরা তারা ডিপেন্ডেন্ট। তারা কোঅপারেটিভ সোসাইটির থ্রুতে ফিশারি করছে, তারপরে বিভিন্ন ধরনের অ্যাকোয়া কালচার করছে। সুতরাং আমরা এখনো যদি সেইটা ইনিশিয়েটিভ নিই আরবান এরিয়াতে যে কটা ওয়াটার বডি বেঁচে আছে, সেটাকে যদি এখনো আমরা আনটাচ রাখতে পারি, অর্থাৎ তারা তার জায়গায় বজায় থাকে, আমার মনে হয় তাহলে খানিকটা হলে ওই মাইক্রোক্লাইমেটিক কন্ডিশনটা কিছুটা কুলিং এফেক্ট এখনো থাকবে।
Thank you.
I have one query, ma'am. You mentioned that in Kolkata, the wetland area has been reduced from 12,000 hectares to 5,000. Is it now?
It's not only this kind of wetland, I'm talking about the small ponds and all that.
Taking all at a time. Not it is ponds are not considered as a wetland.
Now, water bodies and wetlands.
Okay.
I'm trying to show you water bodies and
Combining together. So that has been reduced from 12,000 to 5,000 around. No.
yes. Land clean situation for us.
So this is what any calculation is done with respect to area basis. Means any documentation is there?
Document, but I am not able to see here because the research is going on. It's the output. So,
The Eastern Kolkata wetland area has not been reduced. I don't think that much.
water bodies and wetlands.
With respect to 1950, you mentioned. Yeah, maybe.
Thank you, Amit. So, if there are no more questions, so I'd like to request our President, Dr. Dinesh Chand, to kindly deliver his presidential address.
Hello. Hello, your mic is mute.
No, we are here.
Hello.
We can hear you. Ashwati, ওটার থেকে বলতে হবে তো, তোমার মোবাইল থেকে বলে দাও।
Sir, mic was one. Sir, mic was
No, why it was mute?
one.
It is showing mute. Now it's on.
No, mic is on now. You cannot deliver the president's letter.
No.
Yesterday it was echoing.
Yes, please continue.
Yes, sir.
No,
Please continue.
Why is mute? Again it is mute. Hello?
Sir, if I put on this without muting, then it is creating echo inside the hall. We are getting you very much. You kindly deliver the presidential address. Okay?
Because I am not hearing anything.
We are getting you clearly.
No. Okay. So it is my turn.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please. You cannot deliver the presidential address.
Okay. Dignitaries on the our conference, speaker madams and our officials from headquarters IPHE. I am grateful that you have made a lot of efforts to have addressed the many problems which we encountered due to land degradation. The theme as a decade theme, land restoration, and it is a part of the year, this year, we have this theme, land restoration and desertification and then drought resilience. I think Dr. Dhar, Dr. Mazumdar and Madam Malvika Vishwas Roy and Chandrika Bharati Goswami also delivered in the subject, and it was insight of the problem and related correlation of the various factors where we are facing problem of climate change as a result. I would not say that only climate change is the result. It's a different type of factors will play when land is degraded. And Julius said a lot of data suggests that it is a soil fertility, soil character, acidity, or salinity, or their compaction, their texture, everything is impacted by the human activity and natural activity as well. Natural activity is related to human activity only. What I perceive in an ecological system, when you disturb a land use pattern, then you feel there is an impact around, and globally it is happening. Now, sometimes it is a waterlogging, somewhere it is a drought, time and space, in a space the rain pattern is varying and it is behaving differently. Sometimes in a short period, there is a huge rain. Last year also we faced a problem. This year also in summer, this is the peak of the temperature in Delhi and around. It is crossing normally 50 degrees, whereas it was rarely 40, 42, 43 degrees, 44 degrees, sometimes 45 degrees. It means there is an impact of our problem. And if you correlate, this is a problem of human being. Population is increasing, food requirement is increasing, their mobility is increasing, their necessity is increasing, then urbanization is required, then water supply is required, everything, then their clothing is required. Everywhere we are enhancing the demand. that is the main reason of land degradation. Because if we construct any house out of agricultural land, then we have to sacrifice the agriculture or forest. For the sake of roads, we are sacrificing forest. So it is a very complicated issue. And what one of the speakers said, that this is quite complex, and government is doing, like Professor Mazumdar said, lot of programs are there. And other speakers also supported the with the data. Lot of program is going on, but at the last, it is in small pockets and small efforts. And government now, the focus should be from the government side as well as the public side, the awareness, etc. Government should do policy changes. Number one. Number two, legal frameworks are required so that we can achieve the concrete result towards restoration of land and its characteristics. Now we have only one land. Initially somebody said this was started, this water, this World Environment Day started with only one land issue. And essentially, we have land, but in finite terms. We cannot enhance the land, we can enhance the water, we cannot enhance the other greenery. So we have to manage definitely within our basket of the ecological and biodiversity parameters. And even a human being may be disciplined to restrict the population also. One day it will happen. So we have to go for not economical benefit but environmental restoration of the land as such, and it may be costly for us in long term if we are not active. I request the scientist fraternity, engineers fraternity, whenever they are researching, they are constructing some infrastructure project, and they are doing their best job for the humanity. Please keep in mind that we have to restore our ecology, the biodiversity, land, etc. around us. Then only we will be alive in next few generations. And we have to make all efforts as engineers or scientists to focus our efforts on these issues. I will close with the thanks of all audience as well as speakers and our official Vice President and Secretary General. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Very nice to hear. Very nice to hear. After the presidential address, now I'd like to request, we have Anindita and Shilpa, students of the institutions that we have the expert speakers here. So I'd like to request them to kindly help us to felicitate our expert speakers with small memento. Ashwati, please help. So Anindita, kindly hand over the memento to Dr. Malavika Viswas Roy. And a small vase of a small plant is there, so this is for you. And Shilpa, please come forward and hand over the memento to Dr. Chandrima Goswami. And also there is a small plant. From our side. Vasuti, please take a photograph. Take my camera. Okay. So we have reached to the end of the program. Now it is my turn to deliver the vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks. So I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to both the expert speakers, Dr. Malavika Vishwas Roy and Dr. Chandrima Goswami, for taking the trouble to join us and deliver excellently on their field of experts on the issue of the World Environment Day that we could not celebrate on 5th of June, and now today we are celebrating. Also would like to thank our President, Dr. Dinesh Chand, who kindly presiding over this session virtually. I'd like to also thank Dr. Sri D.K. Dhar, Vice President, for delivering a nice welcome address. Professor Arnav Majumdar for elaborating on the objectives of the World Environment Day 2024 before the gathering. Also would like to thank all the audience present, ladies and gentlemen, students, and all the experts in the field for joining this wonderful event with us. So with this, we would like to declare the program is over. We have a packet of snacks for every participant. So I would like to request Rashwati to kindly hand over. And please wait, she will come and sit.
Hello.